Now been just over a month since President Trump took office. A lot has changed, including executive orders on immigration, sanctuary cities, along with more information on Russia's hacking during the election. And joining us now to talk about a lot of that is East Bay Representative Eric Swalwell. Eric, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me back.
Bright and early. I know you come back pretty much every weekend, do you not?
I do, and I'll be back Monday morning to D.C.
Okay, well, let's talk about the DNC. Big doings out in Georgia right now as you guys get a new party chair.
We've got a lot of great candidates. I see this as a blank canvas, a big blank canvas, opportunities for us to, I really think, stand up for protecting our care, the Affordable Care Act, making sure that we protect a woman to make her own health care decisions, and also to make sure we continue to ask the tough questions about what was going on with the president and his campaign with the Russian government.
Yeah, leadership is important to set the tone, though, in terms of kind of where the party goes next. People are calling it a party in crisis and trying to figure out where we go and how that goes.
I think people are really fired up across the country, and they're looking to unite. A 19-year-old asked me at a college campus earlier this week, she said, all this marching, all this protesting, does it really make a difference? And I told her, in the history of our country, it's the only thing that's made a difference as long as it leads to the ballot box. And so that's what we have to be focused on right now.
You know, I want to talk about this week that everyone's been home and really how contentious it has been. You know, Senator Feinstein had an event yesterday, and people were outside saying resist or resign. I mean, people are passionate. They also want to see a lot of action. Are you feeling that? She said she got 1 million calls to her office. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, people are wrecked. And what we say is unite first, resist, and then we need to reclaim. Again, it has to lead to the ballot box. So if we want to reclaim our country, all of that organizing has to flow in the same direction, and people need to register to vote and turn out.
And you've had a town hall meeting, a couple of weeks ago here in the Bay Area. I know Jackie Spears is going to have one today. What are the voters saying? What are your constituents saying to you at those meetings?
Yeah, keep fighting. And so they're awake. They are really terrified about what this administration wants to do to new Americans with the raids going on across the country. They're terrified. Being unwelcoming to refugees, something that we've never done before. They're afraid just about the prospect of this new economy and whether he's really going to deliver the promises that he's made.
Here's what I want to know, because, you know, at this point, you know, Republicans have control of both the House and the Senate. And if you look at the confirmation votes, it showed Republicans kind of holding the line on partisan voting in terms of the confirmations. There's been lots of headlines about Republicans going back home, some people not even holding town halls because of the security. Do you think it's going to change anything when you guys get back to Washington? Do you think a message has been sent where Democrats are going to do one thing or the other? Republicans are going to say, okay, I need to listen to the constituents because everyone's looking at 2018 and how important the midterms are.
Yeah. So Democrats may be in the minority in the House and the Senate, but right now it looks like the American people are with us. For me personally, we wrote the bill, our office did, that would call for an independent commission on what happened with Russia. And just last week, we got our first Republican to sign on. So every Democrat's on board. We got a Republican. I talked to a Republican this morning on the ride over here, and I think there's momentum building because they're hearing it home from their constituents. I'm going to B Street in Hayward right after this at Echo Coffee, and we're going to have a espresso yourself. So it's a
there you go.
town hall at a coffee shop. So we'll see how that one goes.
A couple of questions. What's it like to be a member of Congress during these times? And secondly, just this week, President Trump excluded some major media outlets from just covering a press conference. Your thoughts about that? I know it's out of your genre, but your thoughts about that?
Well, you know, the First Amendment is a part of what I'm responsible for making sure is still an American value. So it is in my genre, and it's un-American, what we're seeing. And I say that because the press's job is to, you know, challenge the three branches of government.
Yeah, it's another checks and balance.
That's right. And right now, what we saw this week was more news came out about the White House trying to contact the FBI and ask the FBI essentially to be their public relations firm with all these questions about Russia. And the agencies that were really, the news agencies reporting on that were the ones. So this was purposeful. They did this to punish those news agencies, to say, don't do that again or you're not going to have access.
So what is going to happen next with the Russia investigation?
Well, there's more questions as each day passes, and I think we need to know what were the personal, political, and financial ties between Trump and his team and the Russian government. So I'm on the House Intelligence Committee. We're conducting our own investigation. That investigation is marching forward. I get back on Monday, and we're going to get our own
what's it like to be a member of Congress?
So it's
right
exciting.
now?
It's exciting right now.
Yeah.
It's important because, you know, people are counting on you. I got a letter the week after President Trump won from a Hayward father, and he said, I have a son, we're a Muslim family, and my 10-year-old asked me the day after the election, is this a country that I can still live in? And so it's a responsibility to make sure that we are that country.
Where do you focus your attention, though? I mean, you talk about the Russia investigation and pushing that forward. You talk about the ban on travel and the executive order that a new one maybe get this week. You're talking about, you know, so many different things that are coming up. Do you feel like you're spread thin in terms of where you raise your sword?
Yes, I mean, there's so many issues out there, and of course, you know, you want to make sure that you're focused. But the American people, they're the ones that are so inspiring. It's the phone calls, the people who go to the airports, the marching, the people that go to the town halls to hold us accountable. They're the ones that help you amplify these issues. And I promise it makes a difference. It seems right now, to that 19-year-old girl's question, does it really matter? It seems like it doesn't right now, or it doesn't make a difference. But I think when you look back a couple years from now, you're going to see that this moment in history, the American people united, they resisted, and then hopefully we were able to take back our country.
True or false, town halls used to be, you're really trying to get the word out saying, hey, come, please, we want to hear from you. Now it's standing.
Now you got to sell tickets practically, right?
Right, that's right. So, but that's exciting. People want to participate in their democracy.
How about sanctuary cities? Berkeley, San Francisco, San Jose, cutting off federal funds. The president even tweeted he might cut off funds to Cal.
Safe cities. I was a prosecutor here in Oakland, and I knew that because a victim or a witness to a crime that was a new American and wasn't documented came forward, they wouldn't be punished, and so our cities were safer if they felt that they weren't going to be deported. Certainly violent criminals should not be shielded by that, but the overwhelming people who are protected are and should be those who just want to work hard and follow.
This is the question. This is his tweet about UC Berkeley where he says no federal funds. He has signed this executive order about federal funding for sanctuary cities. Is there anything you can do to say to Californians, you know, you want to take this stand, but that federal funding is important for a lot of different things?
This president is learning that there is another branch of government that's a check on him. That's Congress, and there are Republicans in California still who I think it's really incumbent on them to make sure that he doesn't punish California that way, because this affects not just Democrats in California who he disagrees with. This affects all of us.
Will President Obama have anything to do with the party and things moving forward?
I hope so. He's working on an initiative to change the way we do redistricting in this country. Right now, in most states other than California, they really the party in power goes out of its way to protect itself, and oftentimes at the expense of minority communities who are less empowered. And so he's leading an initiative to change that. But I hope he starts to speak up more. But he deserves a break too, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, 8 years, a long run.
Yes. All right,
Great.
Representative Eric Swalwell, thanks so much for coming in.
us.
I know you got your event in Hayward, and
Pleasure.
Thanks, Frank.
And I hope you had good
espresso
feedback
yourself.
there. Espresso yourself, Hayward. It starts at what time?
Yep, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. So if people have time to head on down there, and I'm sure you'll get a big crowd.
Like any other meeting, you'll be packed.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's right.
Lots
All
to
right,
talk about.
thanks so much.